What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Giants Guys. It's a podcast you love to hate, and of course, I am your host, Craig Santucci, and you're stuck with me. So you better get used to it now. In the lab with me, Spart and Mike, we've got Chris, and as promised, not one time, two-time Super Bowl champ. That's right, two-time Chase Blackburn. Woo!
Yeah. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
It's like this is like a thing now. We got to do this every summer. In fact, last time I had you on, all right, you were in the parking lot of the baseball stadium.
That's right.
You had, and I wrote it down, right? It was around this time last year. Anybody who's not familiar with minor league baseball, you were at the Clippers game.
Yep.
With all your boys and your wife. And Mike and Chris, he's telling us how he's at the Clippers game. And for a good 10 minutes, we're like, how is he at a basketball game? Like, we were like, what is he doing? Right. So we figured out that he was at the Cleveland Guardians minor league game. So where's the family now?
They're still in Charlotte right now. So I'm in Tennessee now with the Titans, obviously. And, so I'm here in Nashville getting ready to finish up these last couple of weeks of OTA's minicamp before we go back to Ohio for our foundation events and all that and have our little summer.
So you'll spend summer in Ohio with the family?
Yeah, well, we'll go up there. We'll do our, obviously the foundation events. We'll go up there for a week or two. And then we got baseball again. My boys are involved in travel ball. And so my middle son's on a pretty good 10U team that, we won the World Series deal last year. We're trying to repeat and go down and do some stuff this year. So we have East Cobb coming this weekend, and then we go down to Florida for the Perfect Game World Series in July. So we'll be down there doing that. And then he got invited to a Perfect Game something, I don't know, All-Star Classic something, whatever. So we're going to do that. It'll be a good time.
And awesome. Will they actually come to Tennessee to hang out with you when school starts, or how's that going to work?
Yeah. We'll figure it. We're figuring all that out as we go. They're coming up this next week during mini camp. They're going to come up after this next tournament here. We're going to try to figure out all that kind of stuff. But play it day by day right now.
Yeah. No doubt. All right. So I'm looking at my notes. I wanted to print them out, and of course have them in front of you, but I want to talk about linebackers just in general. So we know about Blake Martinez. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Oh, yeah.
So he goes down with an ACL, last year, third game of the season. I guess my question is, how hard is it to come back from that injury, Chase? Because as you well know better than anyone, when you're playing inside, you got guys around your ankles, guys around your feet, you're scraping, and there's bodies around you. Like, how hard is that going to be for Blake Martinez to come back from? He looks ready to go. You know what I mean? They say he looks. We interviewed Ryan Dunleavy from the Post last week, and he was like, he's definitely further along than expected. But tell me, like, what's it like playing linebacker after an injury?
Yeah, I think, obviously speaking from personal experience, obviously every injury is different and the timetables are different from every guy. And, everything you can do is just trying to get back on the field to play and help your team and develop a role for that team. And, it's no different coming off my rookie year, same type of situation where, I got hurt in my rookie year on Christmas Eve. I had my neck, I got carted off, ended up in a neck brace for 10 weeks and doing all that all over. And so, you're just doing everything you can every day. And you have no idea what the outcome is going to be. In reality, like, you just don't know what the reality is going to be for the future. But all you can do is put all your hopes and everything in the guys that are helping you, your training staff and your weight room staff, and the ability of all our medical advisors, and just doing everything possible, humanly possible, to get back on the field and be ready to go, so that when training camp happens or whatever time you are able to get back on the field, that first contact for me was the biggest thing. As being a neck injury, that was the biggest thing for me, being like, hey man, can I absorb this contact? Can I go hit somebody? Can I, all that kind of stuff? And because I could run around, I could do all that in shorts and be fine, from my personal experience. But, I think the first thing for me was Brandon Jacobs on the goal line and training camp. that was about when I knew, like, oh, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'll survive this, and life will be good.
So part of it's mental, part of it's physical.
Yeah, 100%. There's a little bit of doubt still in your back of your mind until you do it, right? I mean, there's always going to be that, but it's just confidence in everybody that's put into you to get you to that point.
Yeah, because, I mean, we look at it like, Blake's probably been the best inside linebacker we've had since your former teammate, AP was here.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, the fans love him. They've been dying for a great inside linebacker, for a while. I got to imagine, like I said, a little bit of it's physical, right? And then you get physical, you feel great. Then the mental is like, hey, when there's guys crawling around my feet, when I'm scraping through tiny little holes, I'm, trying to find a way to get to the ball carrier.
Right.
Is it in his head? Can I absorb the punishment? Can I pivot the way I need to, or whatever? So
right.
I was kind of wondering what you. Yeah.
Interesting what you're talking about. Like, we have some, being here in Tennessee, we got some great sports psychologists and stuff that's one of the big things they deal with is guys coming back from injury, which obviously, not too long ago was kind of taboo. You didn't say, like, hey, I'm talking to a sports psychologist about, sports performance or sports related anxiety or whatever. Well, that's a big part of it, is that injury bounce back. That's really interesting to me, is, trying to deal with all the things that are in your mind in that process. Not everyone's mentally the same. So having someone that you can talk and go through it, or someone that's been through it before, makes a big difference.
No, Chase, can I ask something that it's always in the media now with the concussions, everything. We're talking about all these injuries. How does the amount of contact in an NFL practice in 2022 compare to, let's say, your rookie year in 2005? Is it completely reduced?
Yeah, I mean, it's, it is what it is. It's a lot different. Obviously, the safety and the health and concerns are a lot different. The NFL and the NFLPA have bargained for a lot different offseason, a lot different training camp. I would say the same thing goes for the guys that were before me. They probably look at 2005 through 2014 and laugh about the they laugh about the impact of the contact that we dealt with. I'm sure compared to what they dealt with, the 3-a-days and all that kind of stuff, going back to 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 game to back to back. There was no rest day. So I'm sure every generation will probably have some of the same similarities.
I'm sure too, these players get paid a lot more money now, so they're commodities. You don't want to wear them out in practice, right? So
I mean, it's a game related business. It's a high important as far as high importance of durability and availability. That's I'd say it's one of the biggest things. Obviously, there's talent, there's ability, playmaking ability, and all those type of things, but being durable and having the availability, especially now in the 18-game season, to go out there week in, week out and play.
Do you guys laugh at that, behind closed doors? You're 18. I mean, you're I got an odd number of games. It just seems silly. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just thinking behind closed doors, you guys must be what's with the extra game?
I'd say whatever game they put on your schedule, you're trying to win. So however many they put out there, we're trying to go after for dubs. So it doesn't really affect it. Just the preparation of it goes into the next week. It is what it is.
Makes sense. Go ahead, Chris. You want to jump in?
Yeah. Hey, Chase, just congratulations on being the special teams coordinator with the Titans. So congrats. As much as we wish we were with the Giants, congratulations. Your new position with the Titans. So Chase,
I'm an assistant here, but okay. I just want to clear that. Yes, I don't want to have any false information.
Yes. Okay.
It's all
very
good.
It's
all good. Still enjoying it, loving life, and working for great people.
Absolutely. So Chase, you hear nowadays, he's a two down linebacker. He's a 3-down linebacker. When guys are getting drafted nowadays, considering you're playing the nickel, the dime, and a lot of these downs, how much does a scheme fit weigh into, let's say, a 2-down linebacker? Because hey, you weren't considered a 3-down linebacker in some cases, but hell of an interception, right, in the Super Bowl with Gronkowski. So I mean, you got downfield pretty well, and I think you changed that narrative pretty quickly after making that great catch.
At the end of the day, I think again, I understand the labels or whatever people put on different things, but even being a quote unquote 2-down linebacker, my mindset didn't change. I was going to play 3 downs right? You know, in my mind, it was like, all right, I got to prepare for nickel. I got to prepare for dime. I got to be the Mike or be the Will or be the money or be the Mac, whatever kind of system you're running. Like, you got to be available to do it. I mean, we talked about before, you never know, even if you're the backup, say I'm playing 2 downs, but then one of the other guys goes down, I'm the next guy in to go and sub. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change my mindset and the way I practiced. But, you know, I definitely think you can definitely tell a little bit of difference in the play style or the body types of the guys that are viewed as inside versus outside or coverage backers, money versus Mac or Mike versus Will, you know, whatever your system. But there's definitely differences and variances versus, you know, I guess that 3-down backer by prototypical standards would be a guy that has the right size, has the speed, has the athletic ability, the fluidness in his hips and pass coverage ability.
Like Keegley.
Yeah, there's not very, like, in reality, there's probably not a million of them. There's a reason why that 3-down backer is so coveted, because there's not a ton of them.
That's right. And ironically, Chase, real quick, I mean, the last game of the season against the Patriots, you had the pick, and obviously you were a tackling machine as well. But that first game, I think you were against the Packers. I think you were only in town for like 3 days. And if my memory serves me correct, you picked off Aaron Rodgers. You were at practice maybe 2 days, and there's Chase Blackburn, number 93.
Yeah, I got there on Wednesday. He thought I was he told me after the game, because we've known each other for a little while, but he told me after the game that he's like, oh, I saw a 93 running down the middle of the field. Like, I'm definitely throwing it. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm just going to I saw a 90 number. I thought it was a defensive end. And, you know, which is interesting now with the rules being changed last year with all the numbers and the single digits and all that stuff. That's what they were talking about with the rule change, because it's such a difference in, you're used to seeing certain body types and certain numbers, and now it's different.
I wouldn't even buy in. I wouldn't even buy into that until he just said that. Like, I wouldn't even, like, the body type I buy into. I get that. But the numbers, like, oh yeah, I see a 93 running down the field. I'm letting this thing fly because there's no way 93's gonna cover this tight end. And you realize, oh crap, that's not a tight defense end. That's a linebacker who's way more agile than
and not even that. Like, a lot of times 93s would be outside linebackers in those 3-4 schemes. You know what I mean? So they were on the line type guys, and now, you know, 93 middle linebacker versus on the linebacker is a little different too. So
guy could be dropping into coverage. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I literally never thought about that. And Chris, that's a good question. I didn't even think about it. Like,
that's why he's here. That's why he's here. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, once in a while, something sticks to the wall. You know what I mean?
All right. Let's go back for a second. It's like a comparison, like, not comparison, but look, when you're a rookie in 2005, you got a quarterback by the name of Eli Manning is in his second year. It's really his first year as a full-time starter, because he came in, like, you know, middle of the year for Kurt Warner. As we know, the Giants have Daniel Jones. He's had some ups and downs, you know. I'm just kind of wondering, like, what's it like when you were playing and you've got a young quarterback? Is it where the defense minds its own business and they're just like, hey, we're doing our job? Or is everybody like, hey, man, you're going to get this. We got your back. Because, like, we're all trying to figure out where Daniel Jones sits in the grand scheme of things. We're all rooting for him to do well, at least over here on this side of the fence anyway. You know, we want him to do well. We can't quite figure out what he is. He's had some injuries. He's had some inconsistencies. But you kind of went through that, you know, with Eli, because Eli definitely got better and better and better as he went along. Right. What's it like in the locker room when you're supporting a young guy?
I mean, hell, I was a young guy too, right? So we've all been there. We've all done that kind of deal. And at the end of the day, it's about the guys that are around everybody and put together, and the belief that they have in each other. Every good team I've been on, even from the moment we walked in the building, everyone believed that Eli was the guy, that he could take us where we wanted to go. He was going to perform in the high stress moments. We saw it in training camp. We saw it in practices day in, day out. And obviously he did that. You know, it wasn't always, maybe not drawn up, you know, coach speak wise, but it worked out. And there's something to people like that. And again, I think it's the people around him. Like, do they believe, you know, do we believed in Eli as an organization, as a team, player to player, coach to player, player to coach? Like, it was a belief in the whole deal. And that's what makes successful teams, in my opinion, is that ability of developing that belief, whether even before it comes to fruition. That's probably a
sure.
better way to say it. Even before it happens, you believe it, and that's usually what develops the great teams.
No, that's cool because like I was thinking like I remember again I never played pro ball. I never even played Division I football, but I always remember when I played, the defense had their own locker room, the offense had their own locker room. Like something could happen across the hall on the offensive side of the ball, I'd have no idea. Like there could be two guys fighting in the locker room and we wouldn't know. Like defense kind of stayed with the defense, the offense stayed with the offense. I was just kind of wondering like what it was like. I'm assuming it's not like that in a pro locker room.
No, definitely not. I think half my closest friends were either specialists or offensive players. I think just the way it works out, But to go back to that, what you're talking about, but it can happen that way. If you look at even the way it gets segregated, sometimes like we were in the preseason against the Jets. We did a joint practice training camp. You probably all remember it, Shockey and Vilma and all that whole deal that went down. They were up on the top fields and we're on the bottom fields versus their offense. And, they're up there getting just cremated. There was some gentleman's agreement about we're not going to lay guys out over the middle and angle tackles and all this kind of stuff. Well, we're down there, under Coughlin. You better be on it because basically it was you're out of practice. If you do one of those things, you're done. You're out, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we catch wind of it through the equipment guys or whatever. I can't remember how it exactly transpired of what was going on up top. We're like, all right, well, we're not going to let our quarterback and our receivers and our tight ends and running backs just get teed off on without doing something about it. So we started doing something about it. And then it became a brawl up top, a brawl down below. So what do? We decide it's a good idea. Hey, let's stop offensive defense. Let's bring everyone together and do special teams. You got dudes that are trying to make the team in high velocity situations.
Yep.
It didn't get any better from there. I can promise you that. Practice was cut short, and
it was on like Donkey Kong at that point.
Yeah. So, when you say that that's how teams are built, though, like offense has the defense has the offense, special teams has both sides. Like everyone has each other. It's all three phases, and at that point, you feel invincible. And whether you're a player or a coach, you feel invincible if you can develop that within the team.
It's funny how you say offensive guys and some special guys were your buddies. Like when I tweeted out that you were coming on the show, the first guy to retweet it was Dominic Hickson.
Oh, of course, that's my guy.
Yeah. And like I said, we we're big fans. We interviewed him last year with the whole Super Bowl fishing thing. I even was like, I'm like, come on, man, you guys are both Ohio guys. I'm like, you guys probably played each other. He told us, he goes, dude, he's like, the only offer I had, was Akron. He's like, and then you and I talked, and I tell this story all the time. I'm like, Chase told us that his dad said, are you a man of your word? Because you told me that, like, you got some late opportunities to go to Ohio State, but your dad looked you in the eye and was like, you gave this man your word, you're going to Akron. And there's Dominic Hickson saying, holy bleep, when Chase Blackburn shows up, we're like, what's going on? Like, because no one, you were like the guy, in Ohio that time. So it was just cool. He was telling us that story. He's like, Craig, I didn't have any other opportunities except Akron. He's like, this guy had a whole bunch of them, and he walked on Akron, and we were all like, whoa, this is awesome. So it was just cool to see him, retweet it and, to say what's up.
Yeah, you gotta go Super Bowl fishing, man. He gets where it's at. We went down there a few years ago. It was fantastic. He does a great job with it.
I was in the Outer Banks.
An unbelievable dude.
Yeah, no, good guy. He shared a bunch of cool stories with. I was in the Outer Banks. I told him, I said, I'm going to be in the Outer Banks in July. You want to bring the boat up? I'm like, I'll take the whole family on the board. He's like, I don't know if I can make it. So I got there and I texted him. I go, I don't know where you are, but if you bring that boat up, he's like, I have never been there. He's like, but I'm booked out. I can't get up there, Craig. He's like, maybe next time. So I've heard, he does a really good job.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Obviously, knows what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, he does hog hunt. He does all sorts of hunting trips and all that stuff too. Like he's an outdoorsman. He's got so much stuff going on.
Cool.
So
is he coming to play golf on the 24th? Is the question.
No, he's not coming to play golf. He's got, he's busy, man. That guy's booked up. Yeah. He's got a construction company now too, and real estate and everything. He's got a little bit of everything going. Landscaping. He's busy.
All right. He's hustling.
Yeah, he's got it going.
All right, Mike, you got something? Go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask Chase is this. I mean, you beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. Here we are 11 years old later, and the dude's still playing.
11 years, he's still playing. It's insane.
Yeah. And you know, I know you guys are playing him in the preseason this year, not the regular season. But what I wanted to ask you is, you know, what were the strategies behind beating Tom Brady back then? And do you think what you learned from the coaching staff on the Giants back then when you were playing, would you still apply that to try to beat him today?
Man, that's a great question. I think every team is different. I think every game's got to be approached differently. But he's still playing at that high of a level, which is insane. You know, if anybody knows him, you know, obviously Coach Vrabel knows him, playing with him. So there's you know, he's got way more insight than I ever will. You know, being on the other side of the ball, he sees him every day in practice. Saw him every day in practice for a long time. And, you know, I think if anybody has any, you know, insight, it'll be him.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, he was in the league for 5 years by the time you got drafted. You had a full-on career, like a long NFL career, and he's still playing like another full-on career.
I can't imagine what he feels like. I know what I feel like every day, and I can't imagine what he feels like.
I was just like, I was still trying to like figure out like he must be a cyborg or something, because it's like it's absolutely impossible for me to get out of bed. And I only played D3 ball. Okay. Right. I mean, like I get out of bed and my lower back hurts and my hamstrings are tight and I'm like, my neck's all out of whack. This dude's been playing for 20 something years. It's crazy.
Literally can't imagine. I mean, you got to think, I don't know how many classes now that they were born after he was in the league. I mean,
everybody at this point.
I mean, that was, you know, Jeff Fiegels was that way to me when I got in. And it was like, holy cow, you're in the league for 22 years. Like, wow.
I guess the punter might be able to pull it off, right?
Yeah, but still, it's even more crazy as a quarterback. Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm gonna read this one because I'm trying to figure this out. So when you played for the Giants, Thomas McGahee's the special teams coach, right?
Yep.
And you win, and he wins the Super Bowl. We won a Super Bowl with McGahee as the special teams coordinator.
Tom Quinn was the special teams coordinator. T-Mac was the assistant.
Okay, assistant. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm assuming McGahee goes and gets you or tells them to go get you to bring you to Carolina, right? Because now you're working with him. Now you played for him. Now you're working with him. Is that so far accurate?
Yeah. So he left after the Super Bowl, went to LSU to become the coordinator, to have a chance to call it, become a coordinator.
Yep.
Obviously, hit a couple places. Went to Carolina. We actually were interviewing for the same job as the assistant.
Okay.
He got the assistant job, and then Bruce DeHaven, who was the coordinator at the time, got sick with cancer again for the second time, and had to step down. And they had brought me in as an intern at that point, and then T-Mac was like, "We gotta, you know, if I'm going to be the coordinator, he's going to be my assistant." Brought me under his wing, taught me a whole lot of stuff, taught me a whole lot of football. Great human being, awesome coach.
So
exciting as hell.
Okay, all right. So there's still one question to be had here. All right. So I texted you in the offseason to congratulate. And
yep.
And you said, in fact, I'm sure I don't have it still. I'm not that weird, but I know, like, if I remember correctly, you were like, good things to come, right? Was the first one. How are you not with the Giants? McGahee is there. Like, how is this not possible?
Well, Blev was also already there.
Yeah.
Anthony Blev was already there. So, like, obviously Tom Quinn was there. Blev was there. They already have they had those guys in there. It was great. Again, I've known Anthony a long time. Good coach.
Yeah.
Does a great job. So, you know, God works all things in good, and we'll figure everything out day by day, year by year. And, you know, I'm in a great spot right now.
Oh, no. And I'm not saying I'm not going to fly in that. You know, I'm not doing that. But
I know. But I obviously go back to New York and all that. Hey, if it's meant to be, it'll happen at some point.
Yeah. I got you. And I appreciate that. Because, like, you were like, good things to come. And I was like, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. You know what I mean? I didn't go get me wrong.
I didn't mean to get your hopes up.
No. It's cool, dude. Like, listen, we root. What's the old saying? It's true. Once a giant, always a giant.
Yeah.
We root for all the guys. You know, we root for whoever goes anywhere. You can play on a team 1 year, 10 years. We root for, for the players that wore Giants blue. I mean, yeah, I was excited, but at least, you landed in, like I said, good city, good spot.
Yep.
Vrabel seems like a really cool dude, but I was just like, I'm like, wait, Gay's here. This seems like such a good fit. So, and he's good at what he does because they retained him, right? I mean, you think about how he must be good enough that you got a new GM, a new head coach, and they still retain a special teams guy. So he must be that good because they didn't bring a whole lot of those guys back.
No, he's a good teacher, a good leader, a good coach. I mean, he does a lot of good stuff. So, and obviously they had a lot of respect for him within the organization all the way up to the top. So no doubt in my mind, he was there before, they know him, and they've known him from when he was young now. And I'm sure they're just like, man, he's just been a consistent guy.
Chris, read me off all 3 events because we're going to talk about those, right? He's got and so I've got we got the golf scramble. I've got the
5K run, right?
Yep, 5K run in the camp. Read them all for me.
You want me?
No, I can read them.
Oh,
Chris,
okay.
you got them, or you want me to read them?
Yeah. So we have the 9th annual Blackburn Chasing the Cure Celebrity Golf Scramble. That's going to be held at the Ridge Golf and Gardens in Marysville, Ohio, on Friday, June 24th. Shotgun start will be at 10 a.m. And then there's the 6th annual Blackburn Chasing the Cure 5K Run Walk and Kids. Fun Run will be on Sunday, the 26th. And the Fun Run is starting at 7:45 a.m. The 5K Run begins at 8 a.m. And this is great, too. The free youth football camp. So that's going to be the 8th annual Blackburn Chasing the Cure Youth Football Camp. That's going to be held Saturday, June 25th. The free camp will be offered for kids 6 to 13, boys and girls.
So Chase, I'm gonna read you this because I thought you'd want to know. It says I got this tweet from a DM from one of the guys who listens to the Giants guys, and he reads the website and all that stuff. Says, "Hey Craig, hope things are going well. Enjoyed your interview with Daniel Bellinger. I'm rooting for this guy to be successful as a Giant for a long time. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend Chase's golf outing in Ohio. I have a work obligation that I need to attend during that time. However, I want to remain good on my promise. So here's my offer. I reviewed the registration website. I'd like to offer a purchase either a beer cart sponsor or a celebrity golf cart sponsor on behalf of the Giants guys. According to the website, the sponsors will be promoted during the event. Let me know what I need to do and tell Chase I apologize for not being able to attend the event. There's always next year. Let me know if that works for you." So,
love it.
Yeah, and so the same thing. So I was going to, and I told you that I was going to buy a twosome to give away. It's impossible to find a lot of people to go to Ohio. No offense,
we recruit local.
Yep. So what I do is my accountant. Turns out I'm with my accountant today. Turns out my accountant has the contract for the NFL Alumni Association. I had no idea.
Wow.
So I have a twosome that my accountant's gonna come to play golf, and then I'm going to match whatever. I'm not allowed to say his name because he wants it to be anonymous. Yep. I'm going to match this. So after we're done here, I'm going to look at the 2 sponsors. He said there's a celebrity golf cart or beer cart sponsor. So we're gonna we can either call it the NY Giants Rush cart or the Giants guys cart. We're gonna give one sponsorship, and I'll have my accountant is going to come. So we'll have some money coming your way.
Thank you. Excited about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, we're a little far from you, but
no, you're good.
I don't know.
Say this.
I'm looking at hours right now. I'm kind of considering this, to be honest with you. There's a lot.
Yeah, Ohioans show up in bulk now. They get out there, so we're good with our golf outing. I think we have maybe two foursomes left on the whole deal.
All right,
well, I mean,
one for me.
Yeah, already had 2 included. I have your group there.
Good.
But yeah, the other 2 left.
So, Mike, listen to this story. I got Chase on last week. I told you he's in the parking lot. His kids are inside running around. His poor wife's probably chasing around. He's got 3 monsters cruising around the stadium. And I tell him that I was interviewing Jake Bauer last week, right? I wish I had it here. I should have brought the clip because Ballard says to me, Ballard's jacked. I mean, he's jacked, right? And I'm like, Jake, how freaking big are you? Right. So he goes, I'm 299. I never thought another moment about it. So I said to Chase, I go, hey, I was talking to Jake, seeing if he was going to come play. Right. He goes, and I tell him the story. I'm like, he's jacked, man. And he's like, got this big beard. And he goes, what did he tell you? How big he was? I go, 299. He goes, who says they're 299? You're either, you're either 295, yeah, or you're 300. He's like a guy that's 299 is really like 310.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. So Jake shows up at I don't know what the ceremony was at the stadium. I got a picture with him. I came over.
Anniversary deal or
yeah. I introduced myself to him. He's like, oh man, what's up? I was like, just want to let you know that stunt you pulled, that 299 stunt. I'm like, I got you. I'm like, 299. He's like, who dined me out? I'm like, Blackburn. He's like,
that's my guy. He'll be at the golf event. He'll be there. He'll be one of the guys who's there. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm telling you, Spartan, you're a young dude with no responsibilities. You need to get on a plane and you should go.
Craig, I just got on a plane to come see you and grab a beer, man.
Well, let's not stretch that
right,
out.
I'd rather do Chase Blackburn on a Friday.
You went to see your family. I just happen to live in New Jersey. That's all.
Right.
That's true.
All right. So one is free football camp. That's super cool. And that's on the Saturday on the 25th. So that's that's eight years you've been doing that. So you get a couple of your boys out there to help you out.
Yeah. We'll be fortunate. I got a lot of guys that I played either college ball with or NFL. We got our high school coaching staff as well as some other local high school staffs that come out. Actually have a couple college coaches that'll be there helping out. So I mean, we really do a big, obviously, Memorial Sports Medicine is huge for us. They help one of our platinum sponsors. They provide, the EMTs and the training staff and everybody for that. And as well as the high school, we have, the new Impact Stadium, and Honda Marysville and Impact 60 are, our biggest donors. And they also are the ones that were the biggest donors of the stadium, which is pretty awesome of what they've done for our community. And allows it to go off and help our cause as well.
No, that's super cool because like I said, like 6 to 13, like you're getting right up to 8th grade basically. You're making the next Akron, Ohio State football player.
Yeah, we got Gabe Powers just is going to be a freshman at Ohio State, so it'll be a fun one. He's got a scholarship there. His little brother is a good player. There's quite a few coming out of Marysville now and that have been through the camp that are getting to be good players.
So my daughter committed full scholarship to Michigan State University to play field hockey.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've been all Spartaned up now for like 2 years, right?
Does it hurt you?
What that Ohio beats us every year?
Oh no, I wouldn't. Whoa! I wouldn't even go in there.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, to be wearing Michigan State stuff, like.
Well, what's wrong with that, Chase?
Saying.
So I met Mike. Because Mike coincidentally went to Michigan State. He was telling me how great of a school it was, and I was telling him how Skylar committed, got a full scholarship. We're all Spartaned up. So I've been hitting up Jake like, we're gonna beat your ass this year. I'm like, Kenneth Walker's gonna run all over. He's like, you do know that we've beaten you like 12 out of 14 times, right? And I was like, this is the year. As soon as the game went, he goes, told you.
Well, I will say this, Chase, because you're an Ohio guy, and I did want to talk to you about that briefly. When Michigan State was really good at 2013, 2015, our whole roster was made up of Ohio guys that didn't go to Ohio State. So, as much as they can try to hate you guys, it's like, I mean, your wonderful state gave us all the talent we needed to accomplish what we did.
Ohio pumps out football players, man.
Yeah, Chase, why is that? Why is Ohio different? I remember watching a documentary about Massillon Tigers football in the 1999 season. That would have been a little bit before you graduated from where you went to high school. But, I mean, you guys pump out talent in the Midwest like no other state out there. Illinois, that's where I am right now. They don't even come close, and they have a bigger population. So what does Ohio do differently?
That's interesting. Thinking about it from that perspective, obviously I think we have some good coaches that care about the youth, and it's been that way for a long time. So it's been passed down through generations of the parents caring about the sport, caring about Friday night. Towns do shut down You know, like our town was
Right.
one of those that Friday night
Friday
you
night
weren't
lights,
doing anything
baby.
but going to the game. I think some of it has to do with there's probably not a lot going on. It's not like LA, out in Cali, whatever. Like they have some athletes, but they may be involved in other stuff. Where basketball is not quite as popular. I mean, not that there's not popular. In baseball, you can't play all year round like the southern states. So there's a lot of focus on football and being strong and kind of doing the, maybe lifting a little earlier than some states or whatever. But yeah, for whatever reason, they put out a lot of good high school, college players. I still don't think I can't remember what ranking Ohio is in the NFL as far as producing talent, but it's in the top 5 or 6. Or
Top
I was
5
gonna say, I'm
Midwest
pretty
is
sure
number
it's
1.
yeah.
yeah,
And you get like California and Florida, but I'm pretty sure Ohio's top 5, top 6
it's
every
somewhere
year.
in that range. I know, like you got California, Florida, Texas. I think
Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Georgia and I think Louisiana actually has one of the higher per capita. I'm not sure that they're total.
That's because they're trying to not get shot, Chase. They're trying to get out of there as quick as possible.
It's just China. It's just crazy about everyone has a reason of how they got to where they got. Everyone's got their own story, and I guess now maybe that's Ohio. You're sick of farming, or you're I don't know, but trying to get out.
Like, well, I'm just saying. Listen, I love Louisiana like the rest of them, but it's got the number 1 and the number 2 murder capitals of the country. Like it's a tough place to be. There's a lot of people that want to get out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some teammates from those areas, and I've heard a lot of stories and a lot of things that they've went through in their life, and this.
All right, so the walk. Different. So you got the walk is on Sunday, and then of course the golf scramble. So tell me about the charity. How'd you get? I mean, we've talked about it a little bit last year.
Yeah.
What made you start the charity?
So kind of, my wife and I have always had a belief in giving back. We're both from Marysville, Ohio, and Union County. There, both grew up together and have had a want to give back and help people. We've always kind of had that in our body, in our blood, just to do that. And I think 2 of the biggest things happened. One, her best friend's little brother, who was like her little brother, passed away of Ewing sarcoma in high school. And so that was a big impact in that. Obviously playing with Mark Herzlich, who also was a Ewing sarcoma survivor, but the same disease, which is like 1 in 300,000, just happened to know 2 people very well. And then our breast cancer survivors in our family have been impacted with breast cancer in a number of different areas in our life. Her mom, her aunt, and other people, and my aunts. It's been relevant in our lives. And finally, in 2000, after the 2011 Super Bowl, 2012, I guess February, my wife's like, we just got to do it. We have a platform. We have to make an impact. We can't just we were donating and doing all this stuff, but you don't know where it's going. And you're just, you're giving to these causes and you're not doing it or giving your time or putting your name on it or giving your energy. And so finally it was like, we're going to do this. We got to just go after it. Right now, we just won a Super Bowl. Let's go after it. Let's start it. And, if it's a success, great. If it's not, we tried and we'll figure it out from there. And, unknowing of all that was to come, we're like, all right, we'll just get the 501c3. We'll be able to do this. Well, you have to apply for that. It takes forever with all the documentation, the government getting involved and the backgrounds
and the government.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so we got an LLC so that we could collect money and donate it on the behalf of the LLC from all the donors. And we were able to do the same thing through Susan G. Coleman, OSU James, to the breast cancer and childhood cancer forms. But to do it ourselves as a 501(c) and impact families directly and get to have the relationships that we built with the families, help build the First On College unit in Union County and Marysville.
That's cool.
To help, give gift cards and things to people or Christmas presents or wigs to girls that are going through chemotherapy in high school and college. Okay. Like those things are impactful. And yes, they impact others, but they impact our family just as much, if not more. Like our kids, the impact that going through this and teaching them about right now or this early has been awesome.
I was going to say, you teach them that young, it becomes part of what they do as they grow older. It's like, right. It's just Like, hey, this is what my mom did. This is what my
Yep.
dad did. And then they can carry it on because they're used to doing it. And it actually kind of creates good humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Weird
I'm
how that
sure they're
works.
great. I'm sure they're great boys, but they probably have a whole side of them that their friends don't have because
Right.
they don't see the giving back and the connection that that you guys do. So my hat's off to you there, my friend. I really appreciate asking me to help out, and whatever we can do to get involved. I got to play speed round with you real fast so we can end on a good note.
All right.
Though there's a question on here that Mr. Vrabel's not going to like, so I have to cross it off with a red line.
Deal.
I was going.
I
Yeah,
love the filler question. But yeah, I see what you're talking about, Craig.
but I didn't do it on purpose because that's not my style. But I did ask in here for the record. I did ask how many games the Titans were going to win in 2022, but we're scratching it off. We're not even going there. All right, here we go. You're hanging with the boys. Roller skating or frisbee?
Ooh, can it be frisbee golf?
Yes.
I'll take frisbee golf.
Boom, done.
Okay. Play for Coach Coughlin on the Jags or coach for Bill Belichick on the Browns?
Oh man, that's a question, huh?
It's what I do, dude. It's what I do.
You came up with that one?
I come up with all the questions. It's what I do.
Wow. I guess I'd say play for Coughlin because I know what he is.
Okay. Hey, let me ask this: who's the funniest guy you ever played with?
The funniest guy, Eli.
Best sense of humor, right?
Eli was unbelievable. Like the guy's just pranks, the stuff he. Oh my gosh.
Was he funny when he talked though? Like, is he a funny guy when you're just kind of shooting around with him? Or
yeah, if you have a beer with him, he's hilarious. Like he's subtle funny. Okay. Zach Diossi. Diassi's another one. Like he's outwardly just funny. He's hilarious. He got stories for days.
So wait, have you seen any of the media that he's done over this last year?
Yeah, it's corny.
But is that him? Is that really him?
But he's better probably when he writes his own material.
Okay. Because I'm shocked how good he is.
He was going to pay to have a crane put Jared Lorenzen's car on top of the facility, on top of the Albany basketball arena.
Man, that would be hilarious.
Until he found out that the insurance purposes and if the roof caved in, then he wouldn't, he just has some pranks.
Is there any reason why he was putting the car up there? Just because that's what
Jared was a rookie and wasn't doing his duties.
Oh my goodness!
Oh man!
Do we know what kind of car Lorenzo? God rest
his soul. It was a Chrysler 300.
Rest in peace. Like, what kind of car did he drive?
Chrysler 300.
Wow, Chase knows.
And he was going to put it on top of the Albany Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Favorite animated movie the boys make you watch? And before you answer, I just want to let you know I've seen them all. There's nothing that's too embarrassing.
No, I know. I actually like a lot of them. Animated.
Because all your boys are under the age of 10, right?
12, 10, 8. So it's, the Minions was a big one at that time. So I think that was a good one to watch because there's enough humor for us that could get it that they had no idea what we're laughing at. So of course they start laughing.
The Incredibles were always my favorite.
The Incredibles, that's a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
All right. Toughest running back you had to tackle that you played against. Not like Jacobs in practice, like game time.
Rest his soul. Marion Barber was a son of a gun. He brought it every single down. Didn't matter what quarter. And he was a tough runner. Obviously, you got the usual suspects, Adrian Peterson and Priest Holmes and those guys. But when you talk about a guy that you play in the division that you may or may not know, Marion Barber was the real deal.
Yeah, it was a shame. Sad news last week.
Yeah.
Way too young.
No doubt.
All right. You can only watch one football movie. Is it going to be Blindside, Remember the Titans, or Rudy?
Remember the Titans.
Okay.
I got the poster. I got the poster in my theater right now, like upstairs in the boys' little TV room, signed, all that stuff. We got that. That's one of my wife's favorite movies. So many things I could show for the kids. Great movie. So many life lessons for the boys too that are just great to have.
Chris, your kids like that movie?
Oh yeah, my older one. Yeah, my younger one's like Chase's son's age, but my 15-year-old. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
Like
top.
anyone I ask that question to, and listen, Rudy's a classic. Blindside is just tremendous. Like,
Yeah.
and Blindside always my favorite part of the movie is the very last line of the entire movie where she says, and thanks to Lawrence Taylor, left tackles get paid.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like the whole last line is about Lawrence Taylor.
That makes it worth it for you. I get that. I know Michael Orr very well, so obviously that'd be up there. But it's weird watching a movie about a guy real well. So.
Oh yeah, I guess that is a little weird. Yeah, that's funny. All right, well then, hey, wait a minute. Then let's go into this one. If they're gonna make a movie about your life, Chase Blackburn, who plays you?
Oh man. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out soon.
Okay.
Gotta be honest with you. If I were to pick for you, Chase, you kind of look like Chris Pratt, man.
There you go. I'll take that.
Oh, that's a good one, Mike. Yeah.
Dude,
I'll take that.
Yo, that's a home run there, Spartan. Good job.
I'll talk to the producers about that.
There we go.
And Chase could be like the body double.
Right.
All right. Because I don't know how much, I don't know if Pratt's an athlete or not, though. We'll have to find out. All right, helmet-wise, Giants. You like the NY or you like the Giants, the Giants?
I like the NY.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I liked it.
I didn't look up when they changed it again. Did you play with the Giants or did they switch it?
Yeah, all NY.
Okay.
I just like the way it looked. I don't know. I liked it when they, I always liked when they put like the Twin Towers coming off, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just love the NY.
All right. The red jerseys. Did you wear them?
Oh yeah.
I remember. You guys lost like almost every game when you wore those cursed red
Dallas
jerseys.
in 2005. It's a myth.
That was the only one. There was one game.
Chase and buddy Antonio Pierce. That was the big play right there.
That was the all red socks. I believe we all went with at least the whole defense, so we wouldn't get fined. Wore all red socks. We didn't have to have the white showing.
Yep, and if I remember correctly, Strahan had black cleats with red laces.
I believe that is. I believe that's true.
So my question is, did you like the red, or did you not, or you could do without the red?
I love the red. I love the all. Love them.
Well, let me ask you this, though. All right, so you like the red uniforms. How did you like the Panthers' light blue uniforms back when you played?
I liked them a lot. I liked them not as much as the all black, but I liked them.
Oh, all right. So
I like that all one time. I don't know. I think it looks sweet. It makes you look slick and fast and all that. It makes you look athletic, which I didn't get too much of.
All right, so I'm going to have to improvise here because I can't ask that Titans question. Growing up, stick ball or wiffle ball?
Stick ball.
Really?
Old school.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Old school.
Wow.
And then, what? So I asked that question. Who did I ask that question to? Oh, I asked that question to Brandon Tierney because he grew up in Brooklyn. He's on with Tiki Barbers in the afternoon on WFAN. And he was like, wiffle ball. And I'm thinking, come from the streets, you play stick ball. Here's a guy, he's a suburb guy in Ohio, and he's a stick ball guy.
Yeah, we got a wiffle ball field in our backyard now with the boys, but because that's all they'll play wiffle ball for days, for hours at a time. But when I was growing up, it was stick ball. You took, you had one little stick and a ball and go out to the elementary school and you get your single, double, triple, and home run on the top of the building and you go play.
We used to use the broom handles.
That's what we use. Yep, exactly right.
Oh, awesome. All right, so you're listening to another episode of the Giants, guys. That's Chase Blackburn. What's on your last couple of questions? The last one for me is what's on the horizon? So you got OTAs ending. You're in a good spot with Vrabel. Super cool guy. He brings you in. That's exciting. How'd that go down? How did it go? Like you knew Vrabel already to some degree. Did they reach out to you guys? Like, was it something that okay?
And then Craig Ackerman was, special teams coordinator here, and we've known each other for a while. And he's another Ohio guy, good fit. He actually coached at Miami when I was at Akron, so we kind of have all that going back. He was actually one of my first interviews to be an assistant back in 2016 when I was trying to get into coaching. He was one of the guys that was willing and open to bringing me in for an interview and developed a good relationship. Didn't work out at that time, but it worked out now, and couldn't be happier.
And that's cool. It's a good town, without a doubt. Anybody I've ever said they've gone to Tennessee is always, good place to be.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What's your last? You got two? Go ahead, Chris. You got something you want to ask, Mr. Blackburn?
Yeah, I don't want to backtrack, but Chase, just curious. 2011, you only played, I think, 5 games when you came back to the Giants.
Right.
And in 2012, and maybe a lot of people may not remember this, you had 98 tackles in 2012. So after 2012, when you went to Carolina, were you anticipating coming back in 2013? Or was that pretty much a foregone conclusion that, after 2012, you were going to pretty much go on your way?
No, I thought I was coming back. I actually had fully believed that I was coming back. Didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
They weren't willing to do it. And at that time, with everything they had going with the roster management and all that, no hard feelings, obviously. Right. And then obviously Dave Gettleman came from the Giants, was a fan of the way I played and thought that I could help develop some culture down in Carolina and bring some of that with them, with me down there. And so that was enticing to me, as well as knowing Al Holcomb, who came from the Giants, was the linebacker coach down in Carolina. So there were some similarities that went down that way, and it just didn't work out with the Giants at that time. They didn't want to give me a 2-year contract, and I was trying to get a 2-year deal. And but again, it is what it is.
Yeah, I was just telling Craig and Chris before you hopped on. I remember week 3, 2013, watching Giants Panthers, and the Giants are just getting obliterated. And I wasn't quite paying attention that offseason. I look out and see number 93 on the Panthers, Chase. It's a Blackburn. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me, because you were making so many plays in that game.
Yeah.
Like, what were they thinking? Why isn't he playing for the Giants right now? This is horrible to watch. For the Giants, not for you though. I mean, it was awesome.
No, that was a fun one for me to kind of get a little, as much as I love the Giants, but it was a little bit of like, hey, I get an opportunity to go play. Coach Rivera called me in from at the hotel the night before and said, you're starting tomorrow. And, we're gonna move.
Hell yeah.
So we moved from John Beeson, was a starter in front of me. And then I beat and whatever, took his spot and finished the rest of the year. Then a week or two later, he was traded to Giants. So it was, kind of a full circle effect there, but another great linebacker, great player.
And John was great. He just happened to be done at that time.
Yeah, that foot injury. Yeah.
And that happened that way. And
not knocking him too, because the dude was a stud. He just caught an injury bug and he couldn't get over it. The poor guy just, like I remember his first game as a Giant, he had like 13 tackles.
Yep.
And never did it again. Like poor guy just got in that injury bug and he couldn't pass it up.
Yep.
Spartan, I will say this. We've talked to at least 5 guys that'll tell you the same type of story that Chase just told. We call it he got reaced, because I had Kevin Boss tell me that he's at the airport getting on a plane to go to Oakland, checking his phone, just waiting for the deal, the deal that he asked for. He even said, go back and listen to the interview on the YouTube channel, Mike. He's like, I was willing to take a discount. I was willing to, take a 2-year deal. He's like, I just wanted to come back. On the airport, he's like, basically in the runway, walking on the plane, hoping he didn't have to get on the plane. That's
kind of how it happened. Kind of the same situation. Like, they offered me the deal. I actually called the Giants and was like, here's what was on the table. I'll tell you exactly what it was. I'll get close, and I'll come back. It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So what it is.
Any guy that you love to watch play, whether it was like Boss or Ballard or Chase, Dominic, all these guys, they all got reached, dude. Every single one of them got reached.
All these dudes had like an extra couple years in them, and they played those remaining years for other teams. And it's a shame, because you look at that time, they could have used that older leadership as they were bringing in newer talent.
Plaxico Barris also shot himself in the leg, dude.
What's that?
But let's not forget Plaxico Barris also shot himself in the leg. I mean, that made a huge difference too.
We're not talking about that incident.
That's
talking
right.
about dudes that had extra couple years in the tank, Craig.
All right, so people, we've got 3 events. The 9th annual Chase Blackburn Chasing the Cure Celebrity Golf Scramble on the 24th, which I'm going to take care of when the show's over. We've got the 6th annual Blackburn Chasing the Cure 5K walk and run for on the 26th, which would be Sunday. And of course, the free football camp. If you know anyone that's in Western PA or Ohio, it's a free football camp with college, high school, and pros. I mean, free football camp. You don't find anything for free anywhere at any time. So a free football camp is like, hello. Like, seriously, when's the last time anyone's giving you anything free that's any good?
It's amazing.
So that's pretty cool. Well, Chase, I know you don't want to hang out with us all night. I'll text you during the week. I told you I'm going to take a sponsorship. I'm going to get all that going. And then I've got some guys coming out to golf. So I'll make sure I take care of that this week.
Done. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, fellas. Loved it.
Appreciate
Craig,
your
me
time.
too. I'm going to square up with you with something on it as well, Craig.
Oh, all right. Boom.
All right, so
Look it up.
Chase, I'm going to square up with something.
Hey man, I got
Thanks,
the email from him, and I was like, I love this guy. This guy's cool, you know. And he's a good interview. I'm telling you,
Great.
He spent 50 minutes with us in the parking lot last year while his boys were probably terrorizing his poor wife. I was like, dude, you got to go, man. He's like, oh yeah, my kids are probably running around the stadium.
They probably, they were probably doing everything they could, but that's life. She's used to it now.
Hey, Chase, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate everything. Good luck. No offense. Don't want you to see you win against the Giants, but I hope the special teams
go 16-1 this year, Chase.
Yeah, exactly.
Understood.
And,
get it.
We'll talk again, and I got my fingers crossed that McGahee somehow wishes you back home, but that's a story for another day.
Love it, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Good luck, Chase.
Thank you, Chase.
Later, man.